Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
I'm scrambling.
I know it's the weak bells. It's the weak bells. No one will see us coming, guys, if you don't ding your dinger.
You know what? That
Ding
music at the
your
top of the
dinger.
show, Jason, I wish that was playing when I walked around. I think that perfectly fits me.
I can see the strut too, with like your like legs just like leading. You know what I mean?
Is this what you do when it happens?
Toe first.
Dropping the shoulders on each.
No
stride.
heel toe. We're just going toe toe toe. Yes.
Yeah.
Always toes.
All
No toes
toes.
at all.
Josh is all toes.
Oh my God. Good Lord have mercy. Yes, Tess. There are Anchor Watch. There is Anchor Watch merch. Get your Anchor Watch like little Yeti thing. It's amazing. I still don't have one.
Can we get
still-
Anchor Watch bell that says "Ding your dinger"
That would be amazing. Or ding ding.
for the
Ding.
holidays?
Ding for the holidays.
It could be an
What, Greg,
ornament.
you're a marketing genius, man.
I am.
This is why we have you around. This is amazing. You know what wasn't so amazing was this episode. But before we get into that, guys, welcome to Anchor Watch, our late night below deck
Cheers.
chat, where we take over Up and Adam's channel to talk about the best show on Bravo. Well, the highest rated show. I'm going to reserve best show. I'm having some issues with Med in these past two episodes that are not holding the bar to like Down Under came in, guys. Down Under came in, and we have
Brought the
Captain
thunder.
Jason and Aisha. The thunder from freaking Down Under. And now we're in
I
Italy
miss our old
with
show.
all
Jason.
just the,
Yeah.
you know,
Your old
I don't know.
Vegas show.
Yeah, Jason and I used to be on that show. I miss it.
God.
Hey, speaking of, what was it, like a year or so ago, 2 years ago? It feels like forever that when you first started doing this, you had me on like on the first time to interview you
Yeah.
about the Cirque thing.
Yeah.
I would really love a part 2 of that. I don't know if anybody else is interested, but
Well, the only problem
would-
is our careers never really went any more further than that when it came to the Cirque stuff.
but I just love the stories. It's so fun to hear. Like,
Man, we could get, you know, that the stories are very similar. This is what I love about Below Deck. And I know we've just like flaunted this enough. We've said this. It's like everything that happens on these yachting shows is very similar to the circus, except like maybe some people have a little more talent. I'm not sure yet.
You know what, Bravo? If Bravo did a show about like a Broadway touring cast and like
Okay.
followed them on the bus and watched them backstage and then watched them do the show and stuff, it would be very similar.
Very cool.
And
you guys-
slightly wetter on the in the Broadway show.
Probably. Do you know though? And this is something that I mentioned at Adam's live show like a year and a half ago when we were in LA. I asked everyone on stage. There were a whole bunch of people there, different accounts and stuff. We were different like bloggers and stuff. And I asked, what was the first reality show on Bravo? Do you guys know what the first reality show on Bravo TV was?
Well, I remember when I used to go to Bravo to watch classical concerts. It was fine arts. So it would be ballet. It was things you would say Bravo to,
okay.
not things where you'd be like, fight that bitch.
Bravo.
No, so the actual very first show on Bravo was a reality show on Bravo was called A Fire Within, which followed performers in Cirque du Soleil in creating a show, and it went behind the scenes into their like personal lives and stuff like that, which is so funny because we know all of them, Josh, and they could have done a better show. Anyway, we are here to talk about Below Deck Med.
We are.
Captain Sandy is back. She has a new yacht, the size of a cruise ship, according to Kyle, who finally joined us, season 3.
Thank
And
goodness.
man, I want to ask you guys, and I want to ask the live chat too, and anyone listening, what did you think about this episode? What do you think about these first 3 episodes? I mean, we haven't seen a lot of action. We've had someone who was fired in like literally the first 15 minutes. We haven't really left the dock. We haven't seen Italy where we are yet. We haven't seen that
The Mediterranean.
Yeah, that atmosphere we're supposed to feel like. I don't know, after watching White Lotus, I felt like we would see a little more Italy, but we haven't seen that yet. And now we finally have our cast. But if you guys could rate it or give your opinion, let me in the live chat. But Greg, Josh, please.
I'll let
let me know. Let me know.
Greg.
So I definitely would go with I mean I have fun watching it. We have a good time, and I think that it's above 50%. So I'll go with a 6 right now. Is that too high?
No, Ginger agrees with you. She gives you a 6.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to say I'd probably stick around there. Josh, what do you think?
I'd say 5 or 6 if I'm being generous. The thing is, like, if 5 is the middle,
right?
Yeah, I mean, I think some people when they hear 5, they think you're giving it a 0,
right?
So
yeah.
With that in mind, I'm gonna say a 4 or 5. I'm
so average,
or a little below average. What? If I'm being frank, it's a little below average. I'll say this: like, we were so entertained by Down Under,
and sailing before,
and this is just kind of like. It's like a plane that can't quite lift off the runway. Like, it keeps like I want to say it's kind of like we've experienced too many seasons, because we kind of had the before and after Toomey and Kyle. Is it bad if I say I kind of liked it before more?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I still see room for growth. So
plenty of room. Plenty of room. You could climb mountains.
Is room for growth. All you have is room for growth. And I'm hoping
there's potential. There is potential.
All the gymnastics scores coming in here too.
Yes, the like perfect calculations.
Jason and Greg, I keep my finger on the pulse of the community.
Hard.
Of course you do.
Hard on the pulse.
I put my finger in there and I keep it in there till I know what's going on. And
do you feel it's a 5 or a 6 at this point?
I'm
His
pushing for more. No, here's the deal. A lot of people in the comment section of various like below deck discussion groups and stuff like I've gone to a few because I was like, am I crazy? Like, am I missing something here? And you know what? A lot of people kind of agree what we're all saying. Like, the vibe I've seen is like, this ain't so hot, and kind of the only excitement we're getting is from a negative place.
Yeah, that's true. And I know we had a little negativity in Down Under, but I feel like we had a lot more issues, like actual yachting issues to deal with, like tenders hitting things and anchors coming up or going down mid-sail. It's like, these are weird things to deal with. And
while we had some conflict, we also had some fun amongst the cast.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this, I feel like it's almost like, look, Jason, one of the things we've done really good in the recent years is getting negative people out of our lives, those energy vampires who just seem to bond over negativity and like misery loves company, those kind of people. I really don't allow that in my life anymore. If that's what they want to bond with me about is like, hey, did you see her? I'm like, nope, I'm not walking that path. And I kind of feel like we kind of have that, like the misery loves company kind of boat going on with some of the cast members.
And I wonder too, because someone mentioned in the live chat, we are at the beginning. We're just starting. Someone who hasn't seen the show, we're getting to know everyone. We have a new crew member. We have Kyle who just came back. So like, what's gonna happen? We don't know. Could it get more exciting? Could it get more dramatic? Could it get more fulfilling? Yes, I think so. I just don't see a lot right now, which sucks. So, I'm just not liking anybody, and I hate to start off our anchor watch like this on such like a negative note, but I really I'm trying and I'm already looking forward to next season, when Aisha is the chief stew.
I think that it could be attributed to it being a well-run ship, and I think Captain Sandy has a very well-run ship. That being said, though, in this last season prior that we were just watching with Down Under, that was also a well-run ship, and I think what's enjoyable is seeing people solve problems. something's presented, they take it on, they solve the problem, and they do it as a team, and they get together and they work. And then you see the the misfires and the people that aren't necessarily doing it. I think that the challenge here is the biggest conflict is just a personality conflict between two people, and they're just dragging a lot of story out of that, and it just doesn't really, that could happen anywhere. That it doesn't have to be on a boat for that to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what is, like, I think I was more excited at the top of the season because, look, I know Captain Sandy is polarizing. I'm a fan of Captain Sandy. She has the traits of the captains that I tend to like, which is more of the hands-on, involved with the crew kind of thing. I can get why she rubs some people the wrong way. But then again, I rub some people the wrong way, so maybe I empathize with her. But I also I was super excited. I still am about Jack, our chef.
Yes.
And he was like shown in such a great light and had nothing but love and support from the crew. It was fun seeing Natalia step up and while sometimes she wasn't perfect at the job and had room for growth, but she still had a positive energy and was positive with the crew that she had. And even when Jessica was complaining a little, Natalia did a good job of being hey, but buck up, let's do this. She was a fair leader, and I think she got respect from the crew because of how she led, as opposed to, and this is one of my pet peeves in life, is when people get their respect from their title and not from who they are and their traits.
Yes.
And I feel like Toomey is leaning a little bit too much on the title. And it's Toomey, I should want to follow you to the ends of the earth, regardless of your title. You should be able to be the fourth stew and still impress me and inspire me enough to where I want to follow your lead.
Dude, that is such a good point, and so just on the nose, because I've been trying to figure it out. She comes across with the leadership style of I'm hired and now I'm going to fire people, walking right in the door. I'm going to cut one head off just so that everyone knows that I'm the boss. And I don't jive well with that. But I think you're right. I think it's it's her first time as a head stew, and she's now in the position to prove it, and she's doing it only through title, not through leadership or through a gung-ho yes and mentality.
Do you feel, because I saw this comment in the live chat, but this is something I was going to ask you guys too. I feel like there is a lot of insecurity with our interior team right off the bat. I feel like Toomey is completely insecure coming in to be a leader. She's worried about what people are going to think of her, if people will respect her, walk over her. And then you have Natalia is look what I did. Look what I did. Don't you love what I did? She needs some validation, and I think she's feeling that in her relationship too, because she claims she has this great relationship, but it's open. So she can't really decide what it is or describe what it is. And she has an insecurity about that. Then you have Kyle coming on the boat, and I feel some insecurity from him as well. And I just feel like we have an insecure interior team. The only one who's stepping to the side is Jessica. She's y'all can do that by yourself. I'll be over here. I'll just do whatever you need me to do. You want me to scrub the toilet or fold the sheets? Yeah.
And with no one likes being fourth. And with insecure, we could also layer on a little immature as well.
Sure.
I think look, this is my first time experiencing Toomey. I did not see Below Deck Down Under when she was a second, which you were in love with Toomey.
I am.
You were telling me, Josh, when she comes, you're gonna love her and stuff. And I gotta say, this is my first taste of Toomey, if you will, and
first Toomey experience.
And I'm to me, just experiencing her for the first time, I'm what's the hype about? She seems I kind of don't respect her right now in the way she's acting. Do I think Natalia's been acting great? No, I think she's also been a little, out of control.
Now, but we know Captain Sandy, the leader, likes to kind of but intervene in these situations. Are we setting ourselves up for some sort of arc? Is that
what?
And we saw coming next week, they're fighting.
Well, I mean, over the whole season,
they're going to get a little rep. I think so, because there is the point where Captain Sandy refers to someone as kind of the common denominator in all the issues, right? So I did a poll. There's 120 votes, guys. If you haven't voted, please do now. And I think
when you click the vote, just slide your little finger to that subscribe or to the like button and hit that. And then if you're really nice, you'll just take that subscribe and just go ding a ding. So
yes, guys, thank you. And it helps us out so much if you push that like button. We have 165 in the room. Thank you guys for joining us again. For the Anchor Watch. Every week it just gets better and better. I love it. And this crowd and this chat is respectful, amazing, and we love it. And thank you guys for being here. So I asked, which of the interior team will pose the greatest challenge for Captain Sandy this season? Toomey, Natalia, or Kyle? I couldn't put Jessica in there. I could have, because you only have 4 options, but I decided to leave her out because I don't feel like she's going to be an issue. But I feel like one of these 3 people might cause Sandy some issues. Now, Toomey's already proved to be like Sandy's cup of tea. You know, Sandy has even said she's a perfectionist. She looks at things from this way. I like this kind of energy. I like this, but she's not around them enough right now.
So, you know, a comment I saw, Jason, going to this when I was, keeping my finger in the pulse.
In the pulse. of the below deck community. Yes.
So, and it's tight to get in there, but once you get, anyways, so here's the deal. Yeah, that pulse is tight. But once inside, someone commented, they said, Captain Sandy judges people by what she sees in what's the deck, or if she calls you to her room, what is that place? I can't even think
bridge.
The bridge. They said she judges people by what she sees on the bridge, not by what they're doing outside. And I was like, that's interesting, because she does have a limited view, because she does try to stay back and let the team do their jobs. She's not hovering and looking, what are they doing? And I was like, that's really interesting, because she says, yeah, like to me, talking to Captain Sandy and in prep meetings sounds like, oh, very professional, wants perfection and stuff. But then, and we saw kind of a sneak preview, she didn't like the way Toomey and Natalia were talking to each other. No. But I wonder if she saw the way that she communicated with Natalia. Again, not saying Natalia's an angel, but as a leader, if she would go, hey, Toomey, that's not the way to talk to your team members. Like, you're going to get a negative response if you're like that. You know what I mean?
You remember, like, every season, I feel like Captain Sandy has to pull people aside, right? Last season, it was Natalia and Dave, Chef Dave, right? Yep. That was a whole shit show. That was just so annoying to watch. I felt like it overshadowed the entire season, and I hope that's not what's going to happen this season. I love.
Well, maybe it's episode 4. You know what I mean?
That's true. And really quick, guys. So if you haven't voted, everyone has voted Natalia as the person I think that will drive Captain Sandy nuts. But we shall see.
Tracy,
where do I see that? Because I already voted. Dang it. Oh, there it is.
Real quick, Tracy said, Toomey is a great worker. Give her a chance. I agree, Tracy. She seems to be very competent at her job.
Absolutely.
Not every star player makes a good coach. Sometimes, and I don't even follow sports. I'm like going to start talking now.
No, it's true.
The analogy was there.
Michael Jordan, right? They tried to get him to coach. He couldn't even explain what he did. He was just the greatest, and yet he couldn't coach others to be great. He had the magic. He
expects so much out of himself that he over expects anything out of his players. So
I just think, I think it's just kind of it's her first time as a Chiefs too. I think she really just has like I don't know,
chip on her shoulder too.
I don't know, something.
So did everybody notice that real quick that who was it that Schnauzer Life is good said I'm with Josh, Toomey overrated, Kyle is stirring the pot. I 100% agree with that's like just ding ding ding. What Schnauzer Life did, what was interesting to me, is that she started with I'm with Josh, and I feel like people have figured out that Josh is the one that is in control of the comments, and therefore you basically just start with that, and then it somehow shows up on the
if you see somehow. Any comment in our live chat that says I'm with Josh first, it is AI. It's a what are they, a bot?
How
It's
dare
a
you?
bot.
That's what it is.
It's a
Okay.
bot. It's paid for. So when
Okay.
Josh gets like a little extra tip at work, he throws it into his little bucket.
Schnauzer,
and
I
his-
couldn't agree
buys
with you
the
more.
bots.
Life is good. Don't let these losers talk you out of it. If anyone disagrees, you will be banned though from the show.
All right, so
Sorry.
we have some
You're
new
right.
faces here in this old crowd. I do want to get to our deck team really quick because, we're not talking much about the episode because there just isn't so much to talk about. But we will get into like the charter guests and what's happening. But the deck team is like, I love Haley and Lara. I think they're great. I think that Luca is doing an amazing job as a bosun.
Yep.
And I'm glad he's keeping that position. And now he has this new guy, Max, or French Max, joining the boat.
Mox.
Bonjour, it's Max, and here he is, joining the boat. And I just feel like he's going to be a team player, and to have like someone who has been a bosun before, like him and Luca. Am I too quick to say that I don't think we'll have a shit ton of drama from the deck team?
I think
I
you're
don't think
too
we'll have
quick.
drama.
I think you're too
Am I
quick.
too quick?
Yep.
Am I too quick? Do you think this is going to be, we're focusing on the interior and all this drama right now, but in a few episodes, we could be paying attention to, like, let's say a Lara and Max situation or a Haley situation, or we know somebody gets fired.
Well, we
And-
did see who was it? Lara has some beef with Mijay Max, so
Maximilian.
so there's we got a little taste of that too, that's coming down the pike. So I think
Right.
I think there's going to be some drama on the deck, just like we're having. And you know what though? Hasn't it always kind of been in Below Deck? Once one team cleans up their act, the other one kind of falls apart for a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe that's coming.
Every time.
Maybe interior will
every
finally
season.
tighten up, and then we'll just see them kind of go nuts. And Luca will now have to, crack the whip.
Yeah.
So so when you say the interior tighten up, do you think that someone will go from the interior?
I don't know if someone will go.
We know for sure someone's getting fired, or
Someone's
from
someone
what we're
always gets
seeing?
fired, Greg. Like, we cannot go through an entire season of Below Deck without one or two, unless you're Below Deck. What was it, Down Under? You
See,
fire everyone. Just
that's
fire
true.
them. But even Captain Sean said there's always someone there. There's always someone you can bring in. But now we have Captain Sandy having trouble just to find,
Maybe we won't have someone
another
fired,
person.
Jason, because it's so hard to get people right now.
That could be true too. That could be true too. So, what is our first impression of Max, our new deckhand, the French guy who claims of being Godzilla?
I think he had some great stuff to say. I just didn't understand what the hell he was
Yeah,
saying.
my comment was new deckhand, French.
The funny thing too is they often will put words for
Subtitles.
people, subtitles. They're not subtitling him. Look,
No.
They were wrong. There was one subtitle. If you go back and watch it, he said he meant to say something else, like for what it's worth or something like that. And they said, "What a fool," something. And I'm like, that's not what he said. But even the subtitles or
Really?
whoever was doing the subtitles didn't catch it. If you guys go back and watch it, there is a line where they just completely
Now
missed
you know what
what
though.
he said.
I'm joking. I'm not making fun of his accent. I can't speak more than one language, so
Same boat.
it sounds ignorant when an American goes, "He's got an accent." It's like, well,
Josh and I worked for a French company for 10 years and we
Yeah.
can't speak a word of French. So
But,
there you go.
so I jokingly say that he came on very strong, and I know how to do my job. I'm really good at it and stuff. He talked a lot about his skill set. Usually in life, those people who come out the gate and talk about how great they are, if he doesn't end up being great, I wouldn't be surprised, is all I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
You
Yeah.
came out very strong today when we started this, and you said that you have your finger on the pulse. You were very
In
When
the
I
pulse.
first met you, Jason, and you talked about how talented you were, I thought it was a weird opening conversation.
Did he like do a backflip like
That
just
didn't
as he's
happen.
talking mid sentence?
That didn't happen, and also I could just prove it.
I've
I'm
never
just
had
like,
someone offer to sign a photo as I met them. That was weird.
Hi Josh. No
How do you
hands.
spell your name? Josh, or do you like the UA on the end? Right. So what do we think about the order that Toomey has given everyone? Do you think that having the ranking of, okay, you're first, you're first, you're second, you're third, you're fourth. Do you think that actually holds people accountable? Because we haven't seen that before, where it has actually held them accountable. We've seen third stews be better than second. We saw last time on Below Deck Med where Natalia and Kyle refused to be a third stew, so they were both the second stew, you know?
I think that they can put people into those positions without necessarily numbering or ranking them, because I don't think it actually matters pay-wise. I think what she did was she was trying to put Natalia in her place and basically slap her on the hand and be like, oh, by the way, honey, you just went from like lead down to 3. And like,
well, at the beginning, though, even when Captain Sandy was talking to Natalia about Toomey coming in and stepping in as chief stew, she was like, and then we have Kyle coming in as a second. Like, she did mention that. So I don't know if Natalia knew that she was going to be third or not, but very interesting. I know that salaries are different for certain ones, but it's really chief. that ranking really matters going forward, like to the next boat. Yeah, the chief will be different, but I'm sure the rest of the stews all get the
resume
paid.
And stuff.
Yeah, the resume and whatever the next charter is going to be. But man, I'm so glad to see that the deck team right now, the drama is minimal. Haley is great. And in come our second group of charter guests. And our charter guests, Josh, we love our charter guests, especially when they are how Toomey described, which these ones were not, and neither were our first charter. Really hard to deal with, very like complicated, needing things all the time. We haven't really seen that yet. You know, we've had 2 charters where one, you know, the weather was bad. And now we're in our second charter. Well, the weather's bad. So the boat isn't even leaving the dock. So now the interior team, Chef Jack, everyone has to step up and kind of like make it a thing. Like, great, we're parked. So enjoy your parking spot.
Do you kind of miss the days when Bravo would intentionally get like
the
borderline lunatic people to be guests? They haven't done that in a while. Like,
you're referring to that one. I know what you're referring to, right?
No, there's actually a few. There's actually
Below Deck Sailing was my favorite.
Yeah, remember? There was some wild ones, but
yeah,
like now I feel like they actually get, for the most part, pretty respectable. Like these guests right now, they're the only real, like, at first I thought, oh, are they gonna have a little bit of an attitude because they came, it was pouring when these poor ladies were like coming onto the boat, so it's like their sunny yacht experience was like not happening. So I get it, they were grumpy, and I was like, oh, these ones are gonna be challenging. Maybe these are gonna be those kind of guests. They're gonna be so mean. And it's like the only really challenge is just around the food. They have some particular taste, but even then, it's not too crazy what they're asking for. So it's not
at all.
Yeah,
and it was almost like miscommunication. Like,
yeah,
they're like
a ton of miscommunication,
yeah.
And this is where I felt that Toomey fell short. But really quick, these guests who came on, I felt like when they got out of their van and it was pouring rain, they knew they weren't leaving the dock. I felt like they were prepared. It's not like, oh, damn, Captain Sandy, you can't take the boat off. Like, we knew we weren't leaving. But this instance, you know, I love that Toomey hired a masseuse even without asking. Let's keep them busy. Yeah. Let's keep them entertained. Smart. That's great. So check, right? But then the miscommunication with Chef Jack later about one of the guests changing their meal for something else, and it was going through Kyle, and then Toomey was just kind of unaware. And then when the mistake happened, I just didn't really love the communication between Toomey and Chef, and it just felt kind of like Toomey had already judged Chef Jack. Yeah. You know, she was ready to fight with him.
Chef Jack pointed out that she blamed the guests, when really, if you look at what happened, to me, the failure was Kyle. You have to have precision when making changes and communicate with precision so everyone knows. It was so muddy and murky, even the explanation that we even landed on and that we saw the conversation happening, everything. It was, even in the moment, I would have stopped the guest and say, just so I clearly understand,
right,
we're going to change this to lobster, and you still want more of this pasta we're going to do as the appetizer, but you'd also like it as your main. With like I would say it so clearly because I want them to have the best experience. And a stitch in time saves 9, right? Like, just ask. Like, now,
and order taking is an art, and if you deliver, you get value. Like, it's that easy. So
I agree. I
And
agree.
he was writing it down, so he had the means to do it. I don't know.
And it was more like assumptive on his part. He wasn't listening clearly.
Mhm.
You know, Greg and
Well,
I,
also-
we're in sales. We're in sales, and so many salespeople, especially newer ones, they think they hear something, and there's a lot of assumption, and that's not what's
Well,
going
yeah,
on.
she asked for
Yeah.
penne.
Well, because you're
and then-
leading
and then
someone to the
the guest
solution.
asked for penne,
And we
and
saw
Kyle came
not
down and was like,
one
just
penne
something
unit.
else besides this. It's like, that's not penne.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
linguine is not penne. It's very different, so I don't know. It's interesting. So out of the three, though, because I asked, the live chat, who's going to be the most, the one that's going to challenge Captain Sandy, but who's challenging each other the most? Because everyone is kind of like a little sly fox here, right? You have Natalia is going to the chef and she's saying, well, I know Toomey doesn't like you. And then Kyle is telling Toomey things and kind of getting her worked up in order
Yeah.
to work with Natalia. And then Kyle's playing two sides with Natalia. So it's very interesting. I mean, we start with this text, right? From Toomey texting Kyle saying, giving you a heads up between us. I know you're mates with her, but Nat needs to stay in her lane because Toomey is losing, or I'm sorry, because Toomey is losing her shit, and shit will end in her walking off because she had a diva moment. And I feel like Toomey came in with that preconceived knowledge or that preconceived idea that kind of maybe Kyle put in her head. And she came in kind of ready. You're going to respect me. This is my first time as Chief Stew, whatever. And then Natalia is feeling a lot of things because she's like, I held this ship together. But then Toomey wasn't really talking about the work Natalia did. Toomey was talking about how the boat is set up. And she was taking offense to that and not feeling that she was validated. And I felt everyone was just in this whole shit show for a minute.
She called out her style of organization, and she was commenting on different ways things were organized or not, like the silverware, for example. And I think that she was kind of attacking her, and then she's like, no, I'm not attacking you, I'm attacking the boat. It's like, no, you're going a little bit after her.
So
don't you think?
You know how there's in cartoons, there's the little angel and the little devil on the shoulders. Okay, I kind of feel like Kyle is got the devil horns but little angel wings, so he's all rolled into one. And he hops from Toomey's shoulder and then hops over to Natalia's shoulder. Then he hops over to Toomey's shoulder. Then he hops over to Natalia's shoulder. And he's saying stuff like, oh, I wouldn't put up with that. You gonna do that? And then to the next person, I can't believe she said that.
But is Natalia doing the same thing when she goes to chef and she's like, well, Toomey said something about you. I know she doesn't like you, but she heard that from Kyle. And it's just it's just a whirlwind of.
I do think Natalia is she's sharing stuff she shouldn't share, but I think she's consistent in her view. Kyle is the one who's ping-ponging Natalia, girlfriend, you and me, we're brother and sister. Toomey, I got your back. I'm your second. You know what I mean? And so it's he's
playing the game.
And a lot of people online, I'm seeing a lot of people say he is shit stirring. That is the one thing.
I mean, we saw that online last year.
Yes.
So it just continues. With Kyle though, it's interesting because when he came on, he was so excited that Sandy asked him to be back and he was hoping to be Chief Stew, but honestly, just watching the quality of his work this time. I mean, last season he had some great moments, but the quality of his work wasn't great through the whole last season. And now it's just kind of I feel like the interior team, their energy is just so mediocre and so tired. It just feels, I don't know. It just feels like we're,
getting it done.
Just going through the motions,
throwing the party,
left the dock,
not cleaning it up at night.
And the fact that you haven't left the dock, the energy needs to be on a 10. You have to be a 10 all the time, all the time. Oh Lord, I could go on and on.
Jason, I'm trying to put our names up on the screen. Where do I do that?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, because none of us are up and Adam, guys. This is the night where we.
Yeah.
There we go.
We take over.
There we go. This is the night we take over Adam's channel to talk about our favorite show. Yeah, so we've covered a lot of everything, to be honest with you, you know. I'm just curious to see what is going to bring Captain Sandy to. What the hell was that?
Wasn't me.
No, that you know what that sound was, Jason? That was your notes updating on my computer.
Was it really?
Yeah,
Our little notes. Yeah, we have a little note. Oh, Greg, are you on the notes?
We have, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
have
on the
little.
notes.
We have a shared note.
Yeah,
that's cute.
That's.
I don't want to tell Greg that, Jason. You can tell him after the show.
No, sorry, Greg. Yeah, I don't know. You know, like after
Does it have a
slow
bunch
start.
of stuff like? No, Greg cannot know about this. Like, you have
yeah. Actually,
Okay.
all the notes are about you, Greg. There's
And
nothing
actually,
about the show.
I'm not even allowed to say these words on YouTube, Greg, so I won't. I'll let Jason tell you himself. I can't say these words. As a father, I can't say these words.
If we before we go, guys, because we've covered this episode, and I know it's gonna get better. I'm praying it will. Right? I was hoping that last season of Below Deck Med, and we just got more of Natalia and Chef Dave, and it just drove me over a cliff, man. It's like, come on, every freaking episode. Like what are the things that keep the stabilizers were off all the time, and so were Chef Dave and Natalia off. It was just so annoying to watch. It was really, really bad. No wonder they didn't have Chef Dave back. No wonder they didn't have Natalia back. I get it. But if you had one person in this cast so far who I really like this guy, who would it be? Or a girl?
Are you saying who from this cast?
Who from this cast is giving you like MVP vibes? And Josh, you cannot say Captain Sandy.
Other than Captain
Sandy,
we know. First episode, I really liked Jack. I like seeing truly talented people and getting to see their personalities. And like, he's really good at his job. Like, hands down, it's impressive what he does. And so yeah, I'm a big fan.
I'm agreeing with everyone that's saying Luca, because I feel like he's been thrown into a position that, you know, he wasn't prepared for, and if he pulls it off, it's going to be fantastic for him and the rest of the crew.
I agree. I think Luca and Chef Jack are like my two favorites, to be honest with you.
Sure.
At first, I didn't know how like Chef Jack would be, but I really like his honesty and how he just like gets in the galley and just like works, and he gets in his own like thing. I love it. But I also love seeing Luca from Down Under, you know, in the position he was in and brought in to do, and then carry this over here and kind of step up to the plate. So hopefully he'll carry that on, that journey of like stepping it up through the rest of this season. But we can only hope. But yeah, Luca and Chef,
he's doing a commendable job, and he kind of came in as like the savior of the last for the deck crew of Down Under, because they needed someone else that had skills and experience, and he came in and did that. So yeah, of course he's great. I guess I didn't think of him because I already know him from last season. So when you're saying who knew or whatever, I go to Jack. But yeah, Luca is also a great pick. Also too, like, I'm excited to see more of Laura and Haley. I feel like we're not going to the deck as much right now. Now it could be because one, they were stuck at port, so there wasn't really anything at the docks. There wasn't really much for the deck crew to do.
They're just like drying rain,
off
which the girls even commented on, like, this is boring. And I'm like, well,
Haley's like, I always have something to do on a tugboat. This is like a floating hotel, and I don't know what to do if we're not out on the water. Like, what do you do? It gets boring, I guess.
Well, and yeah, but I'm like, okay, so then enjoy it, because you've got a moment to take a breath.
Yeah,
but also there's just so much drama going on inside that if you're cutting an episode, are you going to go off to the outside much? You're going to stay on the interior. But yeah, I'm excited to see more from them. Yeah, I'm just looking at my cast photo here of like the different ones, and
I always like watching Sandy in leadership like challenges, talking about like
I think she's gonna have quite a few this season. I really feel that this is like her calm before the storm, and I feel like she's gonna have a lot of shit to deal with this season, and it's gonna be really interesting. It's gonna be...
what are the people called that she's texting that she gets the like recommendations or the crew from?
Norma.
Norma's
the woman's name is Norma, but she's the what would they call that? The chart. Usually it's the charter broker. So whoever brokers, the charter is usually in charge of all that stuff. In fact, that is a very key role in yachting. We've talked about this with Captain Sean before, but who will be here next week, guys. So if you have any yachting questions, save them for next week. Captain Sean will be back. But the charter broker is the one who puts everything together. You'll never see like a preference sheet meeting. That's already done for everyone. It's just emailed. They don't sit there and like sit at a meeting. They don't, you'll never see Toomey or whoever the chief stew is call for like, hey, I need a masseuse, or I need these costumes or this whatever for tonight. That should already be done. I think it would be interesting moving forward with Below Deck that they would add that charter broker position. Just have that one person on land who's like dealing with their BS. I think it'd be fun to watch.
I think that person is like, all right, we have the A team, the B team, and then I have this group of like people that need some help, and they're not A or B. They're not bad by any means, but they could benefit from being on Sandy's crew, and so they're getting thrown in for that reason.
Absolutely.
I thought of something else that'd be fun, and I know that I'm the contest guy and the Mr. Marketing over here, but how fun would it be if Bravo had a competition for like winning a spot on the boat? They've never done that, have they?
No, they've had much like crossover with like housewives who have gone on or whatever, or people obviously who just like pay to go on. But that would be amazing. That'd be incredible.
Cool.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
Or if they picked like a YouTube show that covers the show,
even better,
and invites them to be guests so they could experience what they've been talking about.
Can you imagine? It's like
for 2 years,
you, me, Greg, Adam, Captain Sean, like randomly, like why? And we're going on this like charter, and it's we're like the worst possible guest you could possibly imagine. It's just like, like, where's my champagne?
Why does he keep clogging the toilet? What is going on?
Is he throwing up again?
Get out of the dinghy.
Yeah.
That's not for you.
Yeah. Please quit trying to go up the slide. It won't happen. It's way too steep.
So guys, we're only on episode 3. We have episode 4 next week, and then 5. We are off. Anchor Watch is going to be off for about 2 to 3 weeks between October 31st, which is Halloween. Hello, we have to take Halloween off. It's like a national holiday.
I got kids. I gotta go trick-or-treating.
Hello, right. And then the next week, so right before we're taking it off because Adam and I are actually traveling to BravoCon. We'll be there all week, and we won't be getting back until after the 7th, which means we will not have Anchor Watch those 2 weeks. However, we will be vlogging a lot, and you never know who I'll run into at BravoCon from Below Deck that we might drop like a special little behind the scenes. We do a couple little behind the scenes for members only, but also pay attention to the second channel that we have up and Adam 2. You can head on over there. We have a link on our main page, and we're going to put some stuff up that I think will be fun. But guys, before we go, just really quick, let me ask you guys, live chat, and anybody watching in the replay crew, what are we looking forward to next episode? What do you think we're going to see? Do you think this boat is getting off the dock? Do you think that we're going to have, besides the Toomey and Natalia struggle with
what else?
Captain Sandy, what else could we possibly be looking forward to, right?
What else? Comment below.
That's it. That's really it, right?
Yeah, I just I guess I want to see if it's just gonna be more bickering and fighting. It gets old. An episode
it's
or
redundant.
Two, kind of fun, but now it's like come on, let's do something else now. Like, give me a new chapter of the story.
I want to see the dynamics of like the after party. I hope they get a night off and we get to see like how people mix and match.
Yeah.
With Kyle back in the mix, with the new deckhand, I could see this going a little out of control. Greg,
can we,
spot on. Yeah.
Can I get your opinion on something? The orange shorts. Thoughts?
It's tighter. No. They could be tighter. Oh, no. Wait, what?
They were like, were those culottes?
What the hell is a culotte?
I don't know. I've just heard that term. I thought
am I supposed to know what a culotte is?
Well,
what's a hell is a culotte?
I don't know.
Really educate. Please comment below.
I came here with questions. Yes.
If someone could give us a definition of culotte, and you can do it before the show ends, I will put it up. Do we have any culotte?
Are you typing into your bots right now? Your AI bots,
Yeah.
Josh?
Someone's like,
Hey,
I
girl.
agree with Josh.
That's not a culotte.
Hey, girl, why don't you tell me what a culotte is?
Throw on those orange culottes and come aboard.
I'm over you guys.
I wasn't a fan.
I can't.
I had to use the music. We were playing with the music before the show, and I don't know about you guys, but hey, girl.
No, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks. You can.
They are a wide-legged pant cut below the knee.
Well, hold on.
Oh my God, is this a real thing? This
Okay.
is
So
I'm not a fan of it.
They were just those were above the knee.
Wait,
So
how do you
they're-
spell this? What is it? What is this? How do you?
Oh, there's conflicting things. Some people
Okay,
are
Moto
saying
Coco. Wait,
it's shorts made to look like a skirt. I thought
Isn't
that
that
was
a skort?
Oh.
They are wide leg pants cut below the knee. Yeah, culottes are wide.
Should I just DM Kyle
and
Ask
just
him?
the knee. Yeah, so
Culottes
yeah.
are a wide leg pant, and
this is kind of a culottes
oh,
are
here's
pretty
our
thin.
spelling too. Or is that the spelling?
This show is
Oh,
devolved.
this is-
I'm sorry.
Listen, I mean, we've just turned this whole conversation into something that no one cares about, but I really
Yeah, girl. Let's talk about your culottes.
let's get the cool.
How about those knees, huh?
Okay.
I noticed your pants are getting wider at the bottom. Okay, this show is going
Orange, huh?
Just the fact that we lasted 45 minutes talking about this episode, I'm good with it.
You know what? By the way, the eggs chat last week, everyone loved it except a few people. I saw someone commented, "Move on from the freaking eggs."
We did. We moved on from the eggs.
I
It's the
know.
comments that carried about the eggs,
You know, but
guys.
we did talk quite a bit about it, and to that person, all I gotta say is, "Girl, I got an egg." for
Now we
you."
got the culottes, or whatever it's called. All right, guys, we're gonna leave it there. All right.
I'm
Now-
filling my culottes with eggs, baby.
Are we
Call
gonna add
these
on?
culottes a
We should
carton.
add on to this little journey every week.
Uh,
You know. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us for Anchor Watch. Josh, Greg, this was I wish I could say it was a pleasure, but
It always is.
Whoa,
I love
wait.
hanging out with you guys.
did you want pleasure?
no,
Okay.
no, I want to get off of here. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome Distraction for tonight, guys. Thank you for joining us. Josh, Greg, I love you guys. Subscribers, live chat, you guys are always a blast in here. This is
Replay crew,
literally
we go into the chat and we respond. So if you're watching, hit that like button and chat, and we will. I'll fire back at you. If you think I'm wrong, go ahead and tell me. I'm totally cool if you do. So
And by liking the video doesn't mean that you're pro culotte. I think we should
cool.
clarify that.
I love this. Yes. Josh? No.
hold on. Ooh.
Lord have mercy. All right, guys, stay tuned. Next week, we'll be back for some less culotte talk. Guys,
Maybe.
thank you, mods. Thank you, subscribers. We'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Cheers. See you, everyone.